Hello everyone, welcome to today's news starter. Let's begin with a prelims practice question. Take a look at this question. Two statements are provided and they are asking which among the above given statements is or are correct. So the question is about the e-vehicle policy of India. Two statements are provided. Statement number one, the policy fixes domestic value addition limit on e-vehicle manufacturers. For people who are applying for subsidy under the scheme or incentives under the scheme, they should have certain domestic value addition also. So this statement is correct. They need to have certain domestic value addition. They have 25% value addition for certain criteria and 50% value addition for certain other criteria. Second statement, the investment commitment made by the company will have to be backed up with a bank guarantee. So the company is going to make certain commitments with the government. So how does the government know that they will be executing it properly? They will know only if a bank guarantee is provided along with the commitment. Then the government will ensure that you get certain incentives also. So both the statements are correct. It is a little difficult unless if you know the policy, you won't be able to answer it, but you can expect such questions also in the examination. The first topic of the day is Nilgiri Thar. Any particular flora or fauna which was in news is important for the examination. So Nilgiri Thar is a certain fauna which has always been in news regularly because it is an endangered species. And recently, the government of Tamil Nadu in 2022 started a particular project known as Project Nilgiri Thar. So similar to Project Tiger, Project Crocodile, etc., Project Nilgiri Thar is also important even though it is a state government measure. Because it is a conservation project launched by the government of Tamil Nadu, and it is this Nilgiri Thar is the state animal of Tamil Nadu. Nilgiri Thar is the state animal of Tamil Nadu, so this particular topic is very important. It will be the first survey of Nilgiri Thar ever. There are multiple references to Nilgiri Thar in Tamil Sangam literature, so this is important. You also know that such statements can be given by the examiner always. What is the IUCN status? I have told in the beginning that it is an endangered species. And in India's Wildlife Protection Act, it is mentioned under Schedule 1. Generally, Nilgiri Thar is very important because even though it is a kind of a goat, it is an inhabitant of the Western Ghats, especially in those peaks which are very steep. So it has very specialized foot with which it can easily climb upon the hills very easily. So it can climb upon very steep slopes, very steep mountains, and its availability in Western Ghats show that the Western Ghats is very fertile because they have the grass, they have the flora that develops in Western Ghats only. So if their numbers are good, that means with the Western Ghats, the Shola forests in the Nilgiris are in a healthy condition. When their numbers decline, that shows that the entire ecosystem is under threat. So this is why we need to know about the Nilgiri Thar. So their habitation is at 300 meter to 2600 meter above sea level. Generally, goats will not survive in such condition, but Nilgiri Thar is one species which survive in such condition. Historically, it has been an inhabitant of the Western Ghats. So all the details that I have mentioned here is important for the examination. Study it. The mechanism with which viruses attack its host. Because of COVID, such topics are always important. You need to know about it. So what does the virus do? The virus is generally inactive. It can be a DNA virus or RNA virus. It will get into the host. Every virus will have certain protein with which it will attack the host, but it won't be able to attack each and every cell of the host. It will attack only certain cells. So how does this happen? Let's look at it. Once it gets inside the body of the host, the virus must be present at the correct location. Only then it will attack. For example, COVID, it will attack only the cells in the lungs, right? So in the same way, different viruses attacks different cells. They are very selective in their infection. This phenomenon is known as tropism. Such terms are very important. Note it down. Tropism. Tropism is the phenomenon in which the virus is able to live in only certain type of cells. Most viruses have a special protein. For example, if you see COVID virus, the virus was like this. It was having certain spikes on top of it. So these spikes show that they can get attached to certain cells only. So these special protein will make contact with the receptor in the host cell. So when the virus has certain kind of protein like this, it will go in search of a host cell. So let's say this is a host cell. Host cell has a nucleus. So let's say this host cell has certain receptor protein. The host cell will have certain receptor protein. So this will come and get attached to this receptor protein, and this is how they infect. For example, when we talk about HIV virus, it is a protein called CD4. Only those cells that make this CD4 protein will be attacked. CD4 protein is made by T cells and macrophages. That is why HIV virus directly go and attack the T cells. Cells of respiratory tract and some cardiovascular cells all express ACE2 receptor, and the SARS-CoV virus will go and attack this ACE2 receptor only. So in case of COVID, it is ACE2 receptor. In case of HIV, it is CD4 receptor. One good strategy the virus use to transmit, right? Because whenever in certain cases, what the virus do is, instead of going and attacking the certain cells, what they do is they will make a different variety of protein. So I told you, viruses generally have certain type of protein on their body, and this protein will get attached to the receptor cell. In certain cases, what the virus do is they will manufacture different types of protein so that these any type of protein gets attached to any kind of receptor very easily. So in such cases, it will become multi-cell attacking virus. So these phenomena should be known clearly so that you can answer a question. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban is in news because it has not achieved the target, which the government has also agreed. It is launched by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Very important. Earlier, the target was to provide Pakka houses to all the urban beneficiaries within 2022. The government was not able to achieve it, so they have extended it till 2024. But I don't think they will be able to achieve it even in 2024. It is being implemented through four different verticals. The first one is beneficiary led construction. Beneficiary led construction means the beneficiary, the person who is getting the scheme, he will implement certain amount of money along with the money given by the government. Affordable housing in partnership with the state government, in partnership with the person also. In situ slum redevelopment, complete redevelopment of the slum, and credit linked subsidy scheme, subsidy based on the amount of loan the person is getting. These are the four different pillars or four different verticals through which the scheme is being implemented. In this, one important point which we need to know, this particular point is important for your examination. We have four different verticals, out of which this credit linked subsidy. Credit linked subsidy is a component which will be implemented as a central sector scheme. Credit linked subsidy will be sponsored completely by the central government because the person is getting loan and the loan will be having some subsidy amount. The subsidy amount will be paid directly by the central government. Other three component, that is affordable housing in partnership, in situ slum redevelopment, and beneficiary-led construction. All these three components will be centrally sponsored scheme where state government should also invest some money. Another important point which you need to know for your examination is that the ownership of the house will be given to female member or as a joint beneficiary. Right. So why this scheme is in news? Because of these points. there is still a shortage of around 20 million houses in rural area and 3 million houses in urban centers. The government was not able to reach it. In the Indian urban landscape, around 49% of the people are living in slums. This is what World Bank has told. So the scheme was implemented in 2015, and for 7 long years it has been in implementation. Until now, the government has not been able to do the redevelopment of slums itself. This shows that there is a huge problem with the scheme. Income and wealth inequality in India. Simple data you need to remember. That's all. The recent report known as Income and Wealth Inequality in India, there was a report called as Income and Wealth Inequality in India. It told that actually, after the LPG reforms of 1990, income inequality in India and wealth inequality in India has actually increased. It told that the income and wealth share of top 1% of the people, top 1% means topmost 1% richest people. If you consider them, the amount of income they have, the amount of wealth they have, both have increased. The income of top 1% people is 22.6%. The wealth of the top 1% people is 40%. Wealth and income both are increasing. So when wealth and income are increasing with the topmost people, that means the other people are deprived. So this is a major problem in India. So what measures the government should be doing? Taxation is the most significant measure with which the government can reduce it, especially if the amount of wealth or income of the people rises above a particular limit. The government can implement high amount of taxation for them so that they can take the tax money and distribute among the general population. Restructuring of tax code is very important. Broad-based public investment is required, more investment in health, education, and nutrition. So this is the major measure which the government should be taking. One important topic for mains examination, these pointers you can use in your answers if there is a question on climate change or global warming. Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, has done a survey using its long-term satellite imagery in which it found out that the area of glacial lakes is increasing. Is it good or bad? It is obviously bad because the size of the glacial lakes will increase only when more glacial melting happens. So ISRO has told that glacial lakes have been increasing in all altitude. Even in the highest peaks of Himalayas, it is increasing. The lowest valley region, even there, the lakes area has been increasing. So ISRO classifies the glacial lakes into 4 different categories. First is moraine dammed category. Moraine means the stones, rocks dammed category. Then ice dammed, surrounded by ice. Then erosion based or surrounded by erosion. And finally, all the other types are classified as other glacial lakes. Here, ISRO is telling that out of all these 4 categories, it is in moraine dammed glacial lake, the size has been increasing. Moraine, how it will happen? When more amount of stones or rocks are concentrated in a particular region, mostly it will happen below the hills. So if there is a hill like this, rocks and everything will get deposited here, which will result in moraine. So this clearly shows that more erosion is happening, more amount of landslide is happening because more glaciers are melting. Here, glacial lake will be there, right? So it will be like this: glacial lake surrounded by moraines from all the different directions, right? So this is the topics. These are all the topics which you need to know. You can remember these points so that you can use it in your mains answers also. So these are all the most important topics in news today. You can study the newspaper, read it, go through it, take a note of the most important point, and click on the like button and subscribe so that you can get this video in your recommendation every day. Make use of it very well. All the best.